Hello, buenas tardes. Hello, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to another session of Guadalupe-thon 2022. I've been at it all day long. I'm Cristina Ballí. I'm the director of the Guadalupe Cultural Arts Center. But I've been having a wonderful time with all of our staff here at the Guadalupe, all of our team, and our friends, our artist friends and different supporters. And hello. Okay. Hi, everybody. We're getting our tech in place. I think we're having echo. Okay. Hello, everybody. Once again, we're getting all our tech in place. I think we were having, just some tech issues, some echoing. But that's how it is, right? That's how it is with technology. The problems come up. If we all learned anything during the last 3 years, is that technology is a great tool, but it's can give you a headache sometimes too. But we're trying to use it the best we can. And we do that with Guadalupe-thon as we spend a day reflecting on our work. We were just talking about this right now, how this has been a day of reflection, and it has been actually for the last 6 or 7 years. Interestingly, we started Guadalupe-thon in 2016. That was our first one. And this was pre-pandemic. We decided to do a day-long features on Facebook Live, of our different programs, to let people know what we were doing and ask for their support, ask for your support. We're entering the season of giving. It's the end of year, end of calendar year. Many people are making their end of year contributions to organizations, to causes that they love and support. So we want to let you know that we're here and we'll gladly take your donations. And we're asking for them at this point, in order to keep this meaningful, deeply, deeply meaningful programming coming to you, coming not just San Antonio, but the entire state of Texas and the world. Just want to let you know that we do have the link on these posts. If you're watching us probably either on Facebook, Facebook Live, or on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, there is a link there where you can go to give your donation, and that is on our website. It's guadalupeculturalarts.org. We've been featuring our different programs throughout the day, our different disciplines. And my last session for the night is with a good friend, a good colleague that I've been working with for several years already, and is now directing our Cine Festival. That's one of his jobs at the Guadalupe. He has two jobs, but one of them is directing Cine Festival, and that's Mr. Eugenio del Bosque. Eugenio, welcome.
Thank you, Cristina. Buenas noches. It's good to see you.
Buenas noches.
Beautiful setting. It's a beautiful street behind you.
Isn't it? This is a painting that was gifted to the Guadalupe. It was at Broadway Bank here in San Antonio, and many people recognize it from that branch in Broadway Bank. I should know the name of the artist. I knew it. I'm blanking out right now, but it's a representation of the west side of San Antonio. But it's going to be backwards, but that's what it says right there. West side, the San Antonio.
It actually is not backwards. It looks good. It looks fine.
Okay. Okay, good. And we have this in our gallery, the Guadalupe Theater, the Guadalupe Theater Gallery, which is, this Guadalupe Theater is a theater that you've come to know well, right, Eugenio?
Very well indeed. It's great to have a home for a film festival. It's a beautiful thing. And of course, CineFestival is the longest running Latino film festival in the country. In 2023, we're going into our 44th edition. Of course, the theater has been there. The festival has not always been in this theater, but when you walk into this place, you can really feel the history. The old 35 millimeter projector is still up there. It's not in use anymore. For the festival, we do equip that theater with state-of-the-art 4K projection and surround sound. It makes artists really happy. It makes audiences really happy. It costs a lot of money. And although CineFestival, we are honored and proud to be supported by a few institutions via grants and sponsorships, we always count on individual donations to throw a great event. It's one of the only Latino festivals in Texas at this point. And it also has a focus that you created before I joined, focusing the festival in regional film, Texas films and filmmakers. If you want to talk a little bit about that, this will be a good moment.
Yeah, because when I got here, we're trying to figure out how to best showcase and give meaning to the festival. And, in thinking about that, I thought, well, if we're trying to be this great international Latino film festival, we're not New York, we're not Los Angeles, we're not Austin, we're San Antonio. And we know that our stories, our Texas stories, don't get the limelight, don't get the attention. And we know that we have our own regional culture, and we know that we're hungry for our stories. And then, of course, coming from my background, Eugenio and I worked together at Texas Folklife in Austin. So we had a statewide focus already, and that's just kind of been on my mind. And that has been my artistic curatorial approach to the Guadalupe Cultural Arts Center in general, focusing on Texas, focusing on the region. So that's why I thought, let's, with Cine, let's kind of focus it on the region, on Texas, and, let's make it exciting that way. And also I knew that, well, one, I know there's a need for that. I know artists, filmmakers need a place to show their work. And I know our audiences would really appreciate it. And sure enough, we've been having some good sold out shows. We've sold out some of our shows. And then with the filmmakers being from the region, they can easily travel to San Antonio, they can easily attend, and then their friends and family can also easily attend. San Antonio is already a travel destination, so it just made much more sense that way. And we kind of tried it as an experiment one year. It went well. I said, well, let's do one more time the following year, and then we just kind of kept it. But Eugenio, you came on board here with us at the Guadalupe to start planning the 2020 Film Festival.
That's right.
And we know how that went.
Right. Well, we do, but a lot of folks probably don't. 2020, of course, in March 14, everything shut down, including, of course, the Guadalupe and the Guadalupe Theater. No programming, zero, nothing. This is what we now call the hard part of the pandemic. And when I joined the Guadalupe Cultural Arts Center to program CineFestival, I think it was weeks before the shutdown. So we were like going in full force. And then all of a sudden we had to just come to a grinding halt. And I remember clearly how a lot of festivals started pivoting to virtual, and a lot started happening very fast. And we sat back and considered going virtual, and we decided against it. And we actually did skip a year, which is deemed a mortal sin in film festivals. Of course, there's no such thing when you're facing, a global pandemic. But skipping a year is something that is a very difficult decision for any event. For an annual film festival that had been at that point going on for 41 years, I think we were able to capitalize on the fact that the festival had a long history and nobody thought this was not going to ever happen again. But I also think the focus on Texas films and filmmakers was a main force that catapulted the festival in the following year, because we went without a festival for 2020. And then in 2021, we didn't know what we were going to be able to do, but we did launch call for entries and we said, let's do whatever we need to do. If it's live, if it's virtual, if it's both. And we ended up having the festival right after the 4th of July, in that little time span where we were between variants of the virus. So we had a blast. We had this huge event. We were able to throw a safe event, health-wise, with health guidelines, but everybody was so excited to be able to come back and see each other, because we had been cooped up for a year and a half at that point. And it really was a matter of 3 or 4 weeks that we were able to do that, and then everything got shut down again. Like this happened already like 3 times. So for 2021, we were able to do that and come back in full force. And to me, it was technically my second year programming the festival, but it was really the first year because we had postponed the previous year. And it really gave me a lot of confidence in the work that you had already been doing. My predecessors had done programming the festival, and the Texas focus that had been installed since 2017, if I'm correct, because the response from the artists is amazing. And to this day is still, that doesn't really have anything to do with the pandemic. There are a lot of films being produced in Texas by Latinas and Latinos and Chicanas and Chicanos and indigenous peoples, which is the focus of the program. And we still pepper it with a little bit of international work because it helps give it context. And a lot of people knock on our door because the festival has a history of international programming. So I like to keep that a little bit in the game. But the focus in Texas film really, really does work, because people are waiting for CineFestival to happen. People are knocking on our door to premiere their films. In 2021, we had like 5 world premieres. In 2022, again, we had, a handful of world premieres. And we're not really, blowing our horn regarding these premier status things. As you said, we're not LA, we're not New York. We are aware of what our position is, but a lot of what that position means is that the audience knows who we are and the artists know who we are. And that is really a great honor. And that is really a great cause to support. If you donate to the Guadalupe Cultural Arts Center, you are also donating to Cine Festival. It's one of the old legacy programs that Guadalupe carries year after year.
And I do want to thank right now Mr. Adan Medrano, who is the legacy, whose legacy we are carrying, with this program. And Adan has been very, very supportive with his time and advice and input. So yeah, and it's a responsibility that we carry seriously. We are very thoughtful. The reason I wanted to work with Eugenio is because I know he's very, very thoughtful about everything he does, and all the programming, besides his expertise and knowledge. Because before this, you were directing, for a while, you directed Cine Americas in Austin, right? Eugenio?
That's right. Yeah. I was first a programmer and then an executive director for Cine Americas in Austin, which was the same as CineFestival used to be. It still is a big international festival. It focuses all over films from all over Latin America, Native American, Spain, Portugal. And that experience really opened my eyes to a lot of independent filmmaking that you won't see otherwise. It made me really aware of the market, if you would, or the audiences in Texas. But I have to say that none of that experience could have prepared me to program for CineFestival thoroughly, because CineFestival has its own character, its own history, its own audience. And I would be lying if I say that I wasn't pretty nervous on my first year when I finally was able to come into the Guadalupe Theater and meet the audiences that CineFestival has been carrying year after year, meet some of my predecessors who have programmed the festival, because they all come to the festival. There's like 4 generations of programmers that attend the festival. And so elders, cultural icons, artists, new generations of Latino, Chicano filmmakers based in San Antonio. And so the warm welcoming that, this incredible group of people had for me is really, really a great experience. Film festivals are a very intense affair, just because everything happens there at the same time, and it's a lot of excitement, and even you have big stars and you have a lot of beginning artists and young artists, and it just creates a lot of energy. And we end up, locked in that theater for hours on end, for days on end. We added a day at the last minute last year in 2021, pretty much a month out of the festival, we ended up adding an extra day because of the sheer quantity of films that we had, and I didn't want to cut them. So another great benefit of having your own house. If you don't have your own theater, you're not adding a day to your event a month out. There's no way of doing that. It all costs more money, of course, but you have the theater. You have a beautiful, huge screen, and people know where to find it. So I think, there's always room for more people. There's always room for a bigger budget, of course. But I also like to be careful about growing and be mindful about in what direction an event like this can go, because I'm walking on many other people's footsteps when programming CineFestival, and there's always room for new things, and it needs to be renewed, of course, to keep it current and interesting. But
speaking of directions, okay, so what are your goals for this coming year for CineFestival 2023?
I think so. We've been having, again, nothing new. There's been an educational component for a number of years now, and especially in the past year, for me, it was one of the great success stories of the film festival last year. We had Marcela Ochoa, who's a native of San Antonio, has roots on San Antonio's west side, and she's now producing, writing in Hollywood, directing in Hollywood. And she kindly came and visited Cine Festival for the entire week. And she gave a workshop and she got great accolades. So following on that trend, I think the educational component that we can offer is important because a lot of the people that are showing their films are very young filmmakers, are still in school or producing their first few short films, looking for opportunities. They're very hungry for success, of course, but also mindful of how to grow in the industry, how to make a living, how to follow a path that is sustainable for them. And a film festival like CineFestival can be helpful in offering screen time for these films and audience, opportunities to share your work with an audience. But we can also bring together professionals who have already done their work, who are accomplished, and share their experience with younger filmmakers, especially in a state like Texas, where the stories are very local and yet universal. It touches on everything, but it's its own country, basically. So the stories are vast, the stories are varied, the stories are buried too, and these new and not so new filmmakers are bringing them out, and a lot of the voices are in the process of maturing, and more accomplished artists can bring that. So I think that educational process and creating a formal platform in which accomplished filmmakers can share experience with younger filmmakers is one of the things that I would really like to see grow at the festival.
And so there you heard it, folks. That is the direction Cine Festival is taking for now at the Guadalupe Cultural Arts Center in the next year. And we're totally in agreement on this, Eugenio and I. And, I am really happy to have Eugenio on board doing the programming and directing the film festival, in addition to managing our grants at the Guadalupe. I also roped him in to do the grant management, some arts administration work. Folks, this is the team, of the Guadalupe. We've been presenting it all day long. And we're going to wrap up this session now because we're going to move on to our last session of the evening, our last live session. And that's going to be on theater arts. That's coming up with Jorge Piña. But again, to continue legacy work like Cine Festival, we do need your support of all of you, the audiences, the supporters. So please, we encourage you to make a donation today at our website, guadalupeculturalarts.org. Any contribution helps. And that's why we're doing this, to let you know, our passion in producing this programming, and we know that you have a passion in enjoying it as well. So, Eugenio, un mensaje de buenas noches.
Muchas gracias. Thank you, everybody, for your donations and for sharing, for seeing this full day of programming. Come to our events. Come to Cine Festival next year. It's going to be in July again. We will announce dates soon, and we look forward to seeing everybody. Thank you.
We do. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night. And I'm finally signing off for the day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.